tell us a little soundbite of where we are and what this beautiful place is all about?
This is the African American Civil War Museum here in Washington, D.C. in the Greater U Street corridor. We tell the story of the African American soldiers and sailors who saved the Union and freed themselves in the Civil War. In this museum, we tell a story that you will not find anywhere else in the country. It is the story of the Civil War from the perspective of the African American freedom fighters, soldiers and sailors who saved the Union and freed themselves.
Hi, it's Walt Kirkland here with Sweet TV. I'm back with Mr. Jason Groves. And Jason, how are you today, sir?
Fine, thank you.
And Mr. Groves, as you may know, he's on our board with Sweet Magazine. He is such a mover and a shaker in Prince George's County with his lovely wife, Athena. The reason why we're here today is to talk about some history with his great-great-grandfather that just kind of blows me away. And with the help of this nice man here, Harry Jones, we were here earlier. He has some documentation we want to present to Jason and his family. And what's your grandfather's name?
John Groves.
That's your great-grandfather?
My great-grandfather's John Groves.
And he fought in which war?
In the Civil War.
The Civil War. So what this nice man here did for us, he has certification. Tell the viewers what you have in your hand.
We have a certificate of honor for every descendant of one of these freedom fighters that's on our Wall of Honor. We award them a certificate of honor saying what regiment he was in this case the 83rd United States Colored Troops, which was initially the 2nd Kansas Colored Infantry.
Outstanding.
And we tell you where you can find his name on the wall. For this case, Wall C, Plaque 89. And this is a certificate of honor, again, to descendants of these freedom fighters. And it is a real pleasure. This is one of the greatest pleasures of this job is to meet the descendants of these freedom fighters.
Thank you so much. What a great honor.
And what it has here is a certificate of honor for John Graves, the 83rd Regiment of U.S. Colored Infantry. And it speaks about the Kansas Colored Infantry, the year December 13, 1864. Now, Jason, you have a little book here. Can you just tell the viewers what this book's about over here?
Yeah, my grandfather, who would have been the grandson of John, he documented the whole history of the family, and we've always known the story, and so he wrote it down. And it was interesting because he was born September in 1839, and we've sort of been tracking that. And so based on this, with him having joined the infantry in December 13, 1864, he would have been 25 years old. So it's
makes sense.
It does make sense, and really, really neat. So I'm very, very proud, very honored. And it completes the cycle. I'll be seeing my grandfather, who wrote this stuff down this summer, and I'm going to take this to him, so he'll be very proud.
So hey, it's Walt Kirkland with Sweet TV. I'm actually out here at this Spear of Freedom sculpture, and also with Mr. Groves here, Jason Groves. And you know what we're doing right now? We were inside the museum, the African American Civil War Museum. We were in there earlier looking at some of the history, but now this is pretty incredible. I think, Jason, out of 200,000 people, right? These folks here are etched in stone, so which means they died for our country, and their name is on the wall. So what we're trying to do is we actually found Mr. Groves, which, Jason, he's a part of what again? The 83rd?
83rd Regiment, the Kansas Colored Infantry, and here's his name, John Groves.
So I got to ask you, what are you feeling right now? What's you must have? What are your thoughts, Jason?
It's a source of pride. It's I didn't realize. I knew he was here and I knew the stories, but when you see it, it's pretty impressive. There were over 200,000 soldiers that participated. That were African American, and I asked the curator inside how many families have identified their loved ones. He said only about 4,000. So it's a pretty special grouping to be a part of, to know the history and to have sort of confirmation of the stories that you hear growing up and that you know a lot about.
Now, Jason, you have 2 boys, correct?
I do.
What do you think this means to your boys and your family and your legacy?
An additional great source of pride. Great source of accomplishment, and we've always considered John to be the founder of the family because he created the name. So we have all sorts of documentation about him, but this is one of sort of the last pieces that we were missing. I've told my sons the story for years, and I'll continue to tell it, and I hope they'll come out here with their children and grandchildren one day.
Well, we want to thank you today for coming out today. Any last words for our viewers as you take in this experience here at this museum and this site and this spirit of freedom? Any last words here?
First, I'd like to really thank the Suite. That
great.
Without the Suite, deciding to do this story, I don't know when I would have come by here. I was aware of it. I'd been by once before earlier, but I hadn't done the sort of the in-depth portion. And I want to thank you, Walter, and Raul,
Sure.
and all of you for the support. And quite frankly, I wouldn't even have the certificate without you. So I really appreciate it.
Well deserved. And again, this is Walt Kirkland with Sweet TV. This is just one part of our interview. We'll be interviewing his family. This is a lifestyle type of person here. Mover and shaker in Prince George's County. Take care.